All right, everyone, get ready because today we're going to be looking at some really cool AI research coming out of Microsoft.
Oh, yeah. This is exciting stuff.
So just picture this, okay? Like a tiny little AI model is going up against this total giant.
Okay, I like where this is going.
It's like David and Goliath, but with like math problems instead of slingshots.
Yeah.
And you'd think the little guy is going to get totally crushed,
I
right?
think so, right?
But that's what's so interesting about this.
hmm
It's not what happens.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing how this research is saying that bigger isn't always better when it comes to AI. We're
Right.
talking about these small language models or SLMs. They're going head-to-head with these massive models like the ones from OpenAI.
Yeah, and they're actually beating them when it comes to some pretty complex reasoning, like mathematical
It's
reasoning.
really remarkable.
It really is. So we're going to
Yeah.
dig into how they do it. But first, I'm going to just point out, this research is suggesting that these SLMs, they can solve these really tough math problems, even the kind that are designed for like, those crazy smart high school math whiz kids.
Well, absolutely. Like the problems you'd see on the USA Math Olympiad or something like that.
Exactly. Like stuff that would make most people's brains just like completely melt down.
Yeah, and to put it in perspective, the researchers found that using their new techniques, an SLM, could solve an average of 8 out of 15 problems on the AE exam,
Wow.
which puts it in the top 20% of students who take that exam.
Okay, so that is really impressive.
It is.
How are they doing this? How are these smaller models outperforming these giants? The paper talks about deep thinking and self-evolution.
Right.
What's going on there?
So deep thinking, that's referring to a specific technique. It's called Monte Carlo tree search,
Okay.
or MCTS for short. It's kind of like imagine a chess player really carefully planning out all their moves, thinking about all the different possibilities, all the potential outcomes. That's essentially what this AI is doing, exploring all these different solution paths to try and find the best one.
So it's not just about like, brute force calculation power. It's about strategy.
Yeah, it's about strategy. It's about really exploring the problem space intelligently.
I like that. And then there's this self-evolution aspect.
Right.
That sounds like straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It really does, and it's definitely one of the most fascinating parts of this whole research.
For sure.
So the thing is with this SLM, it doesn't just rely on humans to feed it tons and tons of data.
Right.
Instead, it actually generates its own training data.
Oh, why?
It's like it's making its own study guide as it works through these problems.
It's learning as it goes.
Exactly. It's like it's learning from its mistakes and constantly getting better.
It's wild. So it's bootstrapping its own learning process.
You got
And get this, okay. What's even crazier is the researchers noticed something totally unexpected. The SLMs, they started showing signs of self-reflection.
You're kidding?
No,
Yeah.
they'd recognize errors in their own thinking and then adjust their approach.
It's true. They found that these SLMs were actually able to identify when they were going down the wrong path and course correct.
And this wasn't something that they programmed into it.
Nope, it just emerged organically from this combination of deep thinking and self-generated data.
So cool.
It really makes you wonder what other kinds of capabilities these AI systems might develop beyond what we initially designed them to do.
It's exciting and maybe a little bit scary.
I know, right? It's like we're opening up this whole new world of possibilities, but also a whole lot of unknowns.
Definitely. And speaking of possibilities for our listeners out there who are thinking, hey, how can we use this kind of AI evolution in our businesses?
Yeah, that's a great point. There are experts out there, like the team at https://www.sogajini.com. They can really help guide you on how to implement things like AI chatbots and workflow automations.
Those are great examples because those are the kind of tools that can really learn and adapt over time.
Absolutely.
And hey, for everyone listening who wants to keep up with all the latest breakthroughs in AI, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Absolutely stay tuned.
Okay, so back to this research.
Okay.
It's not just about the AI's deep thinking. It's also about how it's evaluated, right?
Right.
The researchers, they decided to replace the typical process reward model with something they call a process preference model.
Yeah, and that's a really important distinction.
So instead of just looking at the final answer, this new model gives feedback at each step of the problem-solving process.
It's like having a coach who's guiding a student along the way instead of just grading them at the end.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
But how does this process preference model actually work?
Well, think about it this way. Imagine you're learning to bake a cake.
Okay, I love cake.
Who does it right? Would you rather have someone just tell you if the cake is good or bad after you're completely done?
No way.
Or would you rather have feedback throughout the process, like, hey, you mixed the batter perfectly, or, oh, maybe adjust the oven temperature a bit?
Yeah, feedback along the way is so much more helpful.
Exactly. It helps you learn and improve so much faster. And that's what this model is all about.
And it seems like that's a big part of what's helping these smaller models really shine.
For sure.
The paper actually points out that this new approach, combined with that deep thinking technique we were talking about, allowed a 7 billion parameter SLM to actually outperform OpenAI's model, which is way bigger.
It's pretty remarkable.
That's a huge difference in size.
It is, and it really shows that focusing on the quality of the reasoning process rather than just the outcome might be the key to developing even more powerful AI in the future.
It's like the quality of the thinking is becoming more important than just getting the right answer.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's another really fascinating aspect of this research that I think we should talk about.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm all ears. Yeah, it really changes how we think about training and evaluating AI, right? I mean, traditionally, we've always focused on just like feeding massive data sets into these huge models
Right.
and then just hoping for the best.
And just crossing your fingers.
Exactly. But what this research is showing is that we might be able to get even better results by focusing on the quality of the learning process itself,
Okay.
even if we're using smaller models.
So that's a game changer
It really is.
because it can make AI development way more accessible,
Absolutely.
especially for people or organizations that don't have access to, like, tons of computing power.
Exactly, because not everyone has the resources to build and train these gigantic models.
Right.
And this could really democratize AI development.
Yeah. And that would be awesome.
It would lead to so much more innovation if more people are able to experiment and develop AI systems.
Totally. And speaking of innovation, one of the most mind-blowing things about this research is that the new model is so good at coming up with solutions that the data it creates itself is actually better than the data produced by GPT-4.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It's like the student is becoming the master.
It really is.
That opens up so many possibilities.
I know. Imagine a world where we don't have to rely on these massive models and data sets to train AI.
Yeah.
It could revolutionize the whole process, make it faster, more efficient, and more sustainable.
It's like finding a shortcut in the AI training process.
Exactly. A really powerful shortcut.
This could be a major turning point.
It could be.
And it's not just about math, right? The researchers think this approach could work for other things too, like code writing or even common sense reasoning.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. This could have huge implications for all sorts of fields.
Like imagine AI that can not only solve complex math problems, but can also write its own code run tests and learn from its experiences.
It would be incredible.
It could revolutionize things like software development, scientific research, and even just like everyday problem solving.
Definitely. It's like we're giving AI the tools to think, critically adapt, and improve on its own.
It's like giving a car the ability to learn how to drive itself more efficiently
That's a great analogy.
based on the roads it's traveled.
And that brings up a really important point. You know, as AI continues to evolve and get more sophisticated, it's crucial that businesses start thinking about how they can use these advancements to their advantage.
And that's where experts like the team at Shogini come in.
Oh, absolutely. They're amazing.
They specialize in helping businesses really harness the power of AI. Everything from implementing chatbots to automating complex workflows.
Yeah, they're the real deal.
So if you're looking to integrate AI into your business, definitely check them out at https://www.sogini.com.
For sure.
Okay, so let's go back to the research for a minute.
Okay.
I want to talk about a specific detail that really highlights the potential of this process preference model.
Okay, yeah, let's dive into that.
The researchers found that this model actually helped the AI figure out and prioritize the most important steps in solving a problem.
It's like a chess master recognizing which moves are going to have the biggest impact on the game.
So it's not just about randomly exploring different paths.
No, it's about being strategic.
It's about really understanding the problem
Right?
and focusing on the steps that are most likely to get you to the solution.
Exactly. And it's almost like the AI is developing a deeper understanding of problem solving in general.
It's like it's learning to think like a mathematician.
Exactly. It's starting to recognize patterns and apply theorems and make strategic decisions based on its understanding of the problem.
And remember, all of this is happening without being explicitly programmed.
That's what's so amazing about it.
The AI isn't just following a set of rules, it's developing its own internal logic
Right.
and its own problem-solving strategies.
And that kind of adaptability and self-improvement is really pushing the limits of what we thought was possible with AI.
Absolutely, and for our listeners who are as fascinated by these developments as we are, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all the latest breakthroughs in AI.
We'll We'll keep you in the loop.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave you with one final thought-provoking question.
Okay, Mari.
So if a small AI can do all this,
Yeah.
just imagine what we could achieve with even bigger models and more computing power.
I know, right? It's mind-blowing.
What could this mean for the future of AI?
That's the question everyone's asking. It's both exciting and a little bit intimidating, you know?
Yeah.
We could be looking at AI that can solve problems that have stumped humans for centuries.
Like what kind of problem?
I mean, think about developing completely new scientific theories or even finding cures for diseases that we thought were incurable.
It's like opening a door to a whole new era of human progress.
Exactly. An era driven by AI that can learn and think in ways we never even imagined.
But we have to be careful, right? I mean, as AI gets more and more powerful,
Oh, absolutely.
we need to make sure we're developing it responsibly.
Right. We don't want to create something that we lose control of or that ends up having unintended consequences.
It's like we're stepping into this uncharted territory.
It really is.
And we need to be aware of both the risks and the rewards.
It reminds me of the early days of the internet.
I see what you mean. So much potential, but also so much uncertainty.
Exactly.
So just like we had to develop all those ethical frameworks and guidelines for the internet, we need to do the same thing for AI.
We need to have those tough conversations about the impact of AI on society.
Yeah. And make sure we're developing it in a way that benefits everyone.
It's not just about the technology itself.
It's about how we use it.
Exactly.
Well, it's clear from this deep dive that we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with AI.
We're just getting started.
And the research we talked about today is proof of that.
It's an incredibly dynamic field, and things are changing so fast.
Who knows what kind of amazing breakthroughs are coming next?
I can't wait to find out.
Me too.
Yeah.
And for our listeners who want to learn more about AI and how it can be used in the real world,
Yes,
definitely check out Sujini.
they're buzz.
They're experts at helping businesses harness the power of AI, from chatbots to workflow automation.
They can help you with all of it.
You can find them at www.surgini.com.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on all the latest AI breakthroughs.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of tech and innovation.
Until then, keep exploring, stay curious, and never stop asking those big questions.
The future of AI is in our hands.
Let's shape it together.
See you next time.